Hi, welcome to Productive C Sharp. In this video, I want to show you how you can create your very first C Sharp program. The first things you need to do is to install your tool. And the best tool for writing C Sharp code is by far Visual Studio. And if you are on Windows, you can download Visual Studio for Windows, Community Edition. If you are on Mac, you can download Visual Studio for Mac, or you can, if you're on Linux, you can use Visual Studio Code. In this video, I'm going to use Visual Studio 2017. You can download that and install it. After you've done that, you can just open it. And the first things you need to do is just to create a new project. I'm actually doing this on Windows, so I'm selecting Windows Console Application. And then you can say productive, a name, given a name, Productive C Sharp, Hello World. Okay, and I press OK. You need to select a location. Let me use C/projects. There we go. What Visual Studio does is automatically creating for you a solution that is a collection of projects. In this case, we only have one project, and also is creating a project. In this case, is the Hello World project. That is a console application. I'm gonna show you now what that means. If you can see here, this is a solution. If I open the file system, you should be able to see that the solution file is just a file, and there's a folder with a project that's called CS_proj. It is actually C# project, and few extra stuff. The most important one is actually the program.cs that contains the actual C# code. The code that is generated is not strictly needed, so I'm gonna simplify this a bit. You don't even need the namespace by default. So, and let me add some code that actually prints something on the console. There we go. There is also other stuff that is added, that is app.config, that you don't really need to have in this case. Let's remove it. And also there is an assembled info.c# project file that contains various metadata about your project. That's the title, the description, your product, the copyright information, and stuff like that, and other information that we don't want to get into this now. One important is the version of your program. So let me try to build this program. What does it mean? So you need to go into the build and click build a solution. What this does is actually taking all the C# files and compile them down into an executable file. So this particular project is a console project. So the output of a console project is an exe file that you can run on Windows. If I do build, what happens under the cover is that an exe file is being created. Let me go back to the file system and show that to you. Inside the bin folder, in the debug folder, in this case we are building a debug version of the program, you can see that there will be a product C# hello world exe generating for you. You can double click with it and then it will just run. If I do that, obviously it will appear, but you won't be able to see the text. So let me go to a command line here and just run it from here. As you can see, it's just printing hello world to the console. And this is actually what the program does. So there's a class called program, it's kind of a convention. And then there's a static method, main, that you don't really need the args as well. And then the only actual code that you have is just the console.writeLine that prints text on the console. I'm not entering the details of the program itself, but this is actually how you can set up a very basic program that prints hello world to the console. I want to show you fairly quickly. If you right click on the project properties, you can see the basic, the important properties of a project. In particular, the most important thing is the target framework that you want to use. You can choose the framework that you want to target, and also the type of output. In this case, a console application. So the output is actually an executable file. Okay, but you might also be able to create class library and that are reusable components, but they do not produce any executable. But we don't want to get into that in detail at the moment. So you're actually seeing that is creating a C# program from scratch is fairly easy. Download the tool, Visual Studio, find new project console application, and then you can just add your code there. And you are automatically ready to write C# code. And this is it. Thank you very much for watching.